Welcome to this video. For those who are true beginners with computers or maybe a little bit nervous, I wanted to make sure that I showed you the steps on how to create a zipped folder, which you have to do in many of these web and programming oriented classes. The steps are right here. You can read them for yourselves. To create a zip folder, really 5 steps, and sometimes for those of you who are very much into exact words, there may be some small variations, but essentially you create a folder or use one you already have in order to place your files that you need, whether it's several picture captures or several Java programs or a website with a lot of pictures and pages and links. And then once you place the files in the folder, you right click in Windows. You can do the same thing with an Apple computer, and then you select a menu choice that lets you create that folder. So what I've done is I've given you, in my example, and again, this is just for a video presentation only. Again, for those exact words kind of people, you don't have to be inside a window to do this, but I wanted to make the pictures of the files a bit larger for video purposes. So I want to create a folder, and you can do that in a lot of ways. Again, depending on the particular software or version of Windows or Mac or Linux that you have, most of the time there will be an option in the ribbon in the display that will say New Folder. And if it does have that, that's great. If it doesn't have it, like in this one, when I click Home, it says New Folder. Most of the time, you can just right-click in a white area and create a new folder. And I'm doing that right here. And I'll name the folder, I'll just call it Zippy right now. It doesn't matter what you call it. You can call it Balderdash or Mike or whatever you want to call it. All right, and then just select the particular files you want, whether it happens to be an internet web page, whether it happens to be a document, whether it happens to be a music file, a picture. It doesn't really matter. You just pick the particular files that you want to use, and I'll just select these 3 for right now. It doesn't really matter. Well, I selected 7, so what? And I just bring these inside my folder by whatever means you do with your particular computer system. And if you look at this folder called Zippy, you might notice that there is actually a visual that shows that there is some information in there. If I open it up, you'll see all those 7 files inside that folder. Now to create that zip folder, I just right click it, and there's usually something, again, depending on the software that you have, it may say send to compressed or zip folder like it says in this top option. You may have something like I do with 7-zip, maybe where you can compress one and email it. I'm going to use send to because that one is more generic with most Windows software. And if you have difficulties with it, you can message me or come by the office and get individual assistance. And I'm going to choose compressed zipped folder. Now what will happen, again, depending on the setup you have for your particular computer, you might see a picture of, and I'll try to make this a little bit larger for you. Bear with me as I'm creating this video on the fly. You may see a folder that's got a Z in there. You may actually see a physical zipper. You may see a collection of books. You may see a clamp with a filing cabinet on it. It just depends on the particular setup that your computer has. Mine happened in this example to create a folder that has a little Z on it. And that's the one that you would send to Blackboard or through email attachments or whatever. The one thing you have to understand, though, that might be tricky about it is if you try to directly open something from a zipped folder, it may look very, very doable, but it's very deceiving. You don't want to never open something directly from a zipped folder. You want to unzip it first. And that's what I have to do. To unzip it, I've got to find whatever program is with it, and I'll look for something that says extract files, and that will reopen them for me. So again, recalling the steps right here to see what's happening, I create a new folder, select the files to be placed in it, place the files inside the folder, touch the folder, right-click it, and select the menu choice that creates the zipped folder. I hope this helps out, and if you still have difficulties with it individually, then you can contact me.